Hi everyone, my name is Milena and today we have a fun project on our hands. We are finally connecting Biscuit's cage to her playpen, and this way she will have access to the playpen 24/7 so that she can play and run around and do whatever hamsters do. So I know I promised this quite a long time ago and I'm sorry for being late, but let's do it today. So as you can see, I am making first a frame, and this frame will be attached to the cage. Inside the frame, I will be making ramps, and for the ramps, I'm using these triangular pieces of wood, and I will be using plywood. The plywood I cut into the appropriate size for the ramps. And it's important to sand everything down so that there isn't anything that can hurt the hamster's very soft paws. Then I glued the triangular piece and the plywood together. Be careful, don't repeat my mistakes. Be careful which side you glue the plywood on, because I did glue one on the wrong side. And while that was drying, I removed the fence of the playpen and I decided to clean up the playpen. I started first by removing all of the stuff in it, and there is some poop inside, different stuff, so you can see it's pretty messy. I need to clean this part so that I can do some work on the cage. I need to make a hole in the cage. And I wasn't sure how to make the hole. I do have a tool that can make a round hole, but I didn't want a round hole because it would be very difficult to protect the cage from Biscuit chewing on it. So I decided to figure something out with a square hole. And then after I cleaned the playpen, I started working on the frame again and on the ramps. As you can see, I'm trying to figure out the best way to attach the ramps, their position, and so on. And I marked their position so that later when I'm gluing, I don't mess things up, which can happen with me. I am very scatterbrained. So I'm gluing them very carefully, making sure that they stay in the right position. And while I'm doing this DIY, you can see most of the time birds singing in the background. I'm not sure if you like the noises. Before I used to avoid having their voice in the background, but I now actually like it. So tell me if you like budgies singing in the background or if you hate it. I'm not sure. I think I prefer it to background music. So now I am making the hole in the cage. I tried to figure out the best way to make a square hole. And my solution was to drill multiple holes right next to each other in a line and then use a thicker drill to make those holes more connected. I wanted to make an entrance through which I could push the saw and then cut into a straight line. So as you can see, I am using some violence on this cage, and I hope it wasn't too noisy for my neighbors or for Biscuit. Biscuit doesn't care too much for noise usually, so she was fine, of course. And you can see that I put the saw in and I started sawing the shape that I wanted. It doesn't go too fast, but it's also not going too slowly. So I think I'm fine with the sewing process. And as you can see, it does look pretty square. Everything looks pretty straight so far. So I was happy with this kind of process that I made up. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's the best way, but it's my way. As you can see, this is not perfectly straight, so I do need to sand it, and my solution for sanding in a straight line was to take a piece of wood and wrap sandpaper around it. After that was done, I cut some lolly sticks and I attached them to the cage with some hot glue. Now, I don't usually use hot glue in the cage. I try to avoid it because in case the hamster ingests some of it, it can cause a blockage in their intestines. but in this case, the glue is very hard to reach, so it's not a problem. And I think it turned out really pretty. I like the entrance. So now let's go back to the ramps. The glue is dry and they are attached. So now I'm trying just to make it a bit easier for Biscuit to climb them and go down them. So I am adding some plywood to the ends of the ramps, and I will also be adding some plywood circles that I have, as you can see here. I will be attaching them in different places just to make it easier to climb. In case this is not enough, if they are too steep and not easy to climb and go down, then I will try different additional things just to make it easier for her. Because she is getting older, Biscuit is already 1 year and 7 months old. I know, it's crazy. It feels like it was yesterday that I brought her home. So she is becoming an old lady, but don't worry, she's full of energy. She can run around, she can climb and jump. She really doesn't behave like an old hamster would. So I'm not too worried about the steepness. I'm just worried that it might be too slippery, but we'll see. And I am kind of worried that she might not figure it out right away. So we'll see. There are a lot of turns that she needs to make here. And I'm sure it's confusing, even though to us it might look simple. So we'll see how she does. So Biscuit, as I said, is 1 year and 7 months old. She's been with me for 1 year and 6 months. And she's definitely different from Nosy that you've seen in my old videos, and sometimes you see him in my new videos. Nosy was a very good boy. Although Biscuit is a good hamster, she goes at her own pace. So for example, if I called Nosy, he would run to me right away. But if I call Biscuit, and if she's not interested, I could be calling her and calling her and calling her. If she is doing something else, she will just ignore me. So she will not care if I'm holding food, if I'm not holding food. She just doesn't care. If she's doing something else, like, she doesn't like to be disturbed. And then when she is ready, she will come to me. So she does require a little bit more patience. But she's a funny hamster for sure. And unlike Nosy, she really likes sleeping next to the glass. So I have the privilege to see her sleeping, and that's pretty fun. She's very cute when she sleeps. So as you can see, I'm not stapling the wire directly to the frame. That is because I want to be able to remove the wire easily so that I can access the ramps in case I need to make some modifications. If they are hard for Biscuit to go up, then I will make some changes for sure. And then on the other side, I am stapling it to the frame because this side will be touching the cage and I don't need to keep it open on both sides. So I'm just making sure, of course, to put the staples pretty close to each other because in case my hamster pushes between the holes, I don't want the wire to move and Biscuit to get stuck between the wire and the frame. So that's why I'm putting the staples close to each other. And then I'm making the holes for her. The first one is the one that will be connected to the hole in the cage. This whole frame will be screwed onto the cage so that it cannot fall down, it cannot move. And then the second hole will be at the bottom of the frame where she will be able to exit and enter into the playpen, hopefully. And I am bending all of the wires after I cut them so that she cannot injure herself on the wires. That's very, very, very important. And now this is almost finished. I just need to attach this frame to the cage, and I'm doing this with these little metal thingies. I'm not sure what they're called, but I'm just adding them to the frame, and then it will help the frame stay secure on the cage. So that's how I will do it. For now, I put 2, but if it looks flimsy, I will put 4. Next, we are doing the door. And I found this door last year and I was thinking, wow, it's so cute and I want to use it for some project. And now I finally have the chance. I'm also adding these plywood decorations that I found, and I think it will look really cute. My biggest concern with the door was that because I want the door to be cute, I don't want to put any ugly hinges or any kind of metal that will kind of stick out too much and be ugly. So here I am attaching finally the frame to the cage. I'm very happy that the height matches. I was worried that maybe the holes of the frame and the cage would not match up, but it looks great. So now that it is attached, you can see it looks nice. And as you can see, I added some hemp rope that I braided just as an additional safety measure. I don't want Biscuit to just roll down the ramps. That would not be nice and not safe. So they are here just in case. And now I'm setting up the playpen, putting everything back, and I added some additional tiles in the playpen. I wanted to cover most of it with tiles. I really love using tiles for hamsters because if you put them upside down, they can file the hamster's nails naturally. Of course, in summer, you can also use them to cool down your hamster. You can put them in the fridge or a freezer and then add them to the cage. Now, to go back to the door, I needed to find a way, as I said, to attach the door without hinges. And my solution was to draw a square in the size of the hole in the cage and then just glue on these little wooden squares. Wait, where are they? Cubes. Yeah, these wooden cubes. And they can slide in smoothly into the hole of the cage. But I didn't think that would be safe enough because what if Biscuit finds a way to pull out the door and open when I'm not at home? If I'm traveling or something, I want to keep the door locked so that she cannot open it. So I tried to figure out a cute way to do that. And I was thinking about those doors in movies, like in castles, where you have a wooden board kind of locking the door. And of course, if I do that here, Biscuit can just lift it with her nose and unlock the door. So I needed to be a little bit creative. So you will see what I did here with this little stick. My hobby used to be making jewelry. So I had some metal chain and I had this little clasp. They will serve as part of the locking mechanism for the door. As you can see, the door slides right in. It fits very snugly and it doesn't fall out even when it is on its own. Next, I'm drilling for the locking mechanism. I'm using these metal parts. I'm not sure how this is called. If you know the name of these little metal parts, let me know. I'm not sure what they are called. And also the other metal parts that attach the frame to the cage. I'm not sure how those are called. So as you can see, I am putting 2 to hold the little stick, and I'm also adding additional one where the clasp will go and lock the whole mechanism. So I think this fits the door perfectly, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. Now she cannot open the door at all and escape. So now I'm waiting for Biscuit to hopefully come out and use her playpen for the first time. I've turned on the red lights, as you can see here. That's because it is getting pretty late and I do want to be present when she uses it for the first time, just to check for any safety issues, to check if everything is working well. She is supposed to go down here, so I want to see if there are any problems with that. And I also want to see her use it for the first time, because I've invested so much effort. So I'd really like to see some results, and I really hope she likes it. The next day, I put Biscuit in the playpen after she woke up, and I was hoping that she will go up the ramp and find out that the playpen is connected to the cage, because she hasn't figured it out yet. Okay, I'm not sure she knows how to use it. Hey. Oh. Okay. She's trying to learn. So smart. Come on. You're so smart. No. Don't go down. You're so smart. Go up. Yeah, she's not sure how to use it yet. I think she'll learn. Maybe if I put some food in some of the areas. Bravo. Wow. You're so smart. You're learning. Wow. Oh my god, you're doing it. Oh, you actually did it. Okay, just a bit more. You're so smart. Oh, my smart bunny. I added some cork to make climbing and going down a bit easier, and I also added some cardboard to make just one clear way for her to follow, because she was getting confused and sometimes she tried climbing the wire mesh. So I caught her that same night going down. I did not have time to grab my phone and record right away, but this is her going down. And then after spending some time in the playpen and getting all of the foods she could find, she went back to her cage. And she's still kind of familiarizing herself with the ramps, but I think she is doing well. She is not struggling too much to go up. She just slipped here, but I think she will get even better, and if I need to make some changes, then I will do that as well. So thank you for watching, and see you in my next video. You're so silly. Why are you destroying them?